What's up, y'all? Another episode of Shoe Booty Sports coming at you Tuesday night. This is episode 149. So next week is the big 150. Before we get started, I'm your host, Graham Powell, on this screen. That's Bradley Brown on the other screen. Say what's up, Brad.
What's happening?
We got lots of stuff happening that we'll get to in a sec. First, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion, submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com. Under the submit results section, once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Okay, so before we get started, I will say, bringing back up Rhino Races, I, Graham Powell, will officially be taking part in the one-of-a-kind Rhino Ultra starting tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, clock starts. I will have 10 weeks to complete 10 half marathons. So starting that tomorrow, run number 1 of 10 tomorrow. So I'll keep you updated on how that's going over the course of these next 10 weeks. It will probably take me all 10 weeks. We'll see. Maybe I'll get very ambitious one week, but we'll see how it goes. And also just have to make sure my leg holds up because I am in the middle of competing too with the Grand Prix running series. But that going on. And additionally, I know your taste buds, your palate isn't very adventurous, Brad. You've kind of been on the same diet since you were about 5, 6 years old, I believe. But it's whatever's working for you. But I tried the honey pimento chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A yesterday. Finally, been meaning to for a while. It was excellent. It was I'm hesitant to say it, but it's true. It's the best chicken sandwich I've ever had. I score it 9.6 out of 10.
It's a bold statement there.
It's a delicious chicken sandwich. Like the pimento cheese and the honey cuts out. It's like a perfect blend with the heat from the jalapeno and on like jalapenos, and then you've got just a Chick-fil-A, chicken breast on it. It's incredible. All right, so not a sponsor. We welcome them to be if they want to be Chick-fil-A. Just had to say that. I didn't have to, but I chose to.
Did they load it down with pimento cheese?
It was actually a very sloppy presentation. It was a terrible presentation. It was here at the Cabot location, which I like the people that work there. They're all very nice, and the food's very good. Like you could tell it was because they were busy, but that's still no excuse. It was slopped on. Part of it was like on the side and like, at the bottom of the container. The jalapenos weren't lined up. They were kind of to the side. So it was a sloppy presentation, but all I did, I just went to the drawer and got a spoon and just kind of, like put it all back on there the way it should be. Didn't affect the taste at all. Was absolutely delicious. Also, the people in Cabot need to learn how a drive-through works. That's 2 lanes. They think that they all have to line up in one, and so I'm like, okay, well, there's 2 lanes, so I go to the second one, like any, rational person that's ever been through a drive-through like that before would do. And the people, were not going to let me over as it started to shift to 1, and then the Chick-fil-A worker outside was like, no, it's his turn. He's next in our system. Stop. And then I called the person who wasn't going to let me over dumb. And we both had our windows down. I know they heard me. I'm glad they heard me because they're freaking dumb. I could have said way worse to the guy. But Other than that, very positive experience. Delicious. Complete 9.6 out of 10. I stand by that statement. Best chicken sandwich I've ever had. So big shout out to Chick-fil-A there. All right. So I guess I'm talking about all this so I don't have to talk about the Arkansas Razorbacks and their monumental collapse against Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Oklahoma State went into the game 16th in the country. I don't buy that they're the 16th best team in the country. Talent-wise, Arkansas was the better team. I don't see how you could watch that and say that Arkansas was not the more talented team. But mental mistakes and just mistakes.
Yeah.
Talon couldn't catch a snap. Arkansas quarterback couldn't catch a snap to save his life. He dropped like 3 of them that I know of. That led to busted plays and loss of yards on plays. Jaquindon Jackson, is that his last name? He couldn't handle a pitch, or he couldn't handle a toss, just your basic toss. And both guys, Talon Green and Jaquindon Jackson, couldn't. I mean, they were looking ahead before catching the ball. It was just classic, not watching the ball go into their hands. They were looking at the people coming at them or what the defense was doing rather than worrying about catching the ball. Classic that. And then you have the stupid suplex in overtime where Arkansas had them backed up. I mean, it was going to be 3rd and 10. And then stupid late penalty. I mean, the guy knows the rules.
It's going to be like 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12. But yeah.
Yeah. The Arkansas linebacker just suplexes the guy.
The Georgia transfer.
Yeah, I guess. I don't remember who it was. But stupid penalty led to a first down and then a go-ahead score on 2-point conversion. And then Arkansas got stuffed on 4th and 1 to end the game in overtime number 2. But yes, lots of penalties, lots of mistakes, terrible clock management in the final 2 minutes. It took us 10 seconds. Talon Green is going up for he's trying to get the play when it's less than 30 something seconds to play. It was 37 seconds, I believe, when they got on the ball. It's like, dude, spike the ball. You don't have any timeouts. And he's waiting for a play and they're yelling at, I'm sure that they're yelling at him to spike the ball, but it took 10 seconds to spike the ball. He should already know that. He should already know that you need to go clock it in that situation. And just horrendous clock management the whole way. The last play of the game or of regulation could have been a disaster. If Armstrong catches it and doesn't go out of bounds, game's over.
Yeah.
It was impressive the level of collapse that Arkansas had to play so poorly, to shoot yourself in the foot that often when it looked like you had everything under control in the first half.
Completely dominated the first half.
Yeah, now the pick 6 was one thing. I don't put that on the quarterback. He got hit as he threw it, and it was going to be it was going to be a positive play. Had he made that completion, I saw where he was going with it, so that wasn't on the quarterback. But it was everything in the second half. It was a collective team effort of screw-uppery. I'd like to use a better word or a more appropriate word that's a little more crude. But it was impressive, the collapse that Arkansas had. Like I wasn't even mad. Like I found it was frustrating, but then it got comical. Because I'm at a point in my life. Okay, Razorback fans, if you let the Arkansas Razorbacks, especially in football, dictate your mood for the day or how it's going to go, how your day is going to go, you're going to have a very hard life. Get that part of you, get that out of your mind, out of your system. Have other priorities than worrying about things you cannot control, which is always a mess, a hot mess, and especially with Arkansas football, Arkansas sports in general, but especially Arkansas football. But man, that was frustrating to watch. What what were what were the things that stood out to you as just coming away from the game? I mean, what pops in your head as far as positive, negative, to any takeaways, anything we can take away from it?
Um, Positives. I mean, we moved the ball real good, except for whenever we, shot ourselves in the foot. We had those bad low snaps, or what killed the momentum of those drives. We were moving the ball pretty good before those bad snaps. I didn't like how we came out of the second half. Um, I mean, we were pushing them around with our running game, and we come out in the second half. I mean, we get the ball first, and we come out and do three straight passing plays, I believe. I didn't get that. We go 3 and out, punt the ball back to them. But then again, our possession after that, we were moving the ball really well. Then low snaps started happening. Um, the killer, the fumble that uh, what Jenkins had, that was bad. The low snaps, but the
You mean
freaking special
Jackson?
teams, yeah, Jackson, the special teams, man. I I don't get it, man. We had two guys on two separate occasions. Our punt returner was hit by his own teammate, and the second time it happened, he muffs the punt. Which, while that punt was in the air,
Satania, yeah, the returner muffed the punt because our own guy got knocked
yeah,
into him, and that was like the second time that
and it
happened.
it was bad because while that punt was in the air, I go, "Dear God, don't muff it," and he muffed it. Every time a punt goes up in the air for the Razorbacks, all I can think of is Resi Fish. That's all I can think of.
But
Um,
I'm with you there. It wasn't on Satania. It was. I mean, he still should have caught it, but that
Still
was a
should have,
distraction. That was a distraction to have
but
your own guy run into you.
the kicking game, man. Apparently, these guys are kicking it a lot better in practice. The game situation apparently makes them super nervous. If you're only good from 25 yards in, that's terrible. That's going to cost us some games. Uh, we got lucky. He made the one at the end of the regulation, um, to get us tied. Uh, but the one that he missed, and then pretty much, you know, made Sam think it was a good decision to go for it on fourth down the next time that we were down there, which we should have took the points then. Uh, I don't know, man. These
I
kickers got to
I
get better. Our special teams have got to get better. Uh, I don't think it's. I see a lot of people complaining about Sam Pittman. He wasn't the one doing low snaps or fumbling the ball or muffing the punts. Like, he had them ready to play. They came out kicking ass.
yeah,
But
but the mismanagement of the 2 minute drill in on the final drive, that's on the head coach. Uh, I mean penalties, that yeah, it's on the players, but I wouldn't say that's having the guys ready. And going back to the should have taken the points, I agreed with the decision to go for it because your kicker's already shown he's not consistently going to make that, or you at least don't have enough faith in him to make that.
the guy's had two kicks all season at that point. He's batting 500. You got to let him go for two or three.
I mean, hindsight's 2020, but in the moment I was okay with it, and I understood why he made that decision. So I'll defend Pittman there. I will not defend him as far as yeah, and when you see the momentum swing like that, you got to do something to calm your guys down, bring them back to back down to earth. I mean, you could and just let them know, like, hey, we're the better team. We showed that in the first half. Calm down, collect yourselves. The mistakes, like it was a snowball. It was just a snowball effect. It kept getting worse. The head coach has to step in and do something about it, just on the human level. Just find a way to rally your troops together, calm them down, say, hey, it's going to be fine. We're the better team. Just go play. Just go play your game. And he didn't do that. Taylor Green was not prepared on the final 2 minutes. He should know in that situation he needs to go spike the ball,
Yeah.
and he didn't. It took him 10 seconds to tell him to spike the ball. That's on.
But
That's
is that
coaching.
yeah? But is that all on Sam or is that somewhat on Petrino as well?
It starts with the head hog. It starts with the head hog. Yeah, Petrino should. And I mean, and based on what I saw, Petrino was yelling at him to
Yeah.
spike the ball. But that's he should already know that. He should already know that in that situation. Yeah, it's on the quarterback. It's on Taylor Green, but it's also the coach's job to make sure he knows that in that situation. Make sure he's prepared.
So at what point did you go, we're losing this game?
When they took the lead, when they took the lead the first
When
time.
when we muffed the punt, I said, we're losing this game. I'd seen enough. I mean, it already looked like we were trying to give the game away after that muff punt. I said, we're done. We're not winning this game. I
Yeah,
mean, Jackson, he was lucky that his knee was down earlier whenever he coughed up the ball trying to unload on the guy in the wide open field. Like he got lucky his knee was down and it ended up not being a fumble. But yeah, and then I don't know, man. In the overtime, I mean, we pulled Jackson out because he was cramping up, multiple times during the game. He's very hesitantly walking back to the huddle. You can tell he's tensing up. He's about to start cramping up. What do? We turn around and hand it to him up the middle again for no gain. What did you expect was going to freaking happen? The guy's 3 steps away from cramping up, and you give it to him right off the bat. And then I don't know, man. I didn't like the fourth and 1 call in the second overtime for us. I, we had our backup in. Where's that big fullback we've been hearing about that they haven't been playing? Like he should have been in there running the ball. One of our smaller backs is in there. We turn around, run to him, and that linebacker just unloads on him. I didn't
for
like that call. I wanted to see like I don't know, like a bootleg rollout or something. Give Talon the chance to run or throw a short pass. Not
put the
not
ball
turn
in
around and just
put the ball in Taylor Green's hands. Give him the option to run, pitch, throw. Give him like three options. That
yeah.
should be that should be like your basic 2 point conversion play, your best play. Put it in Taylor's hands. Give him three options where he can run, pitch to the side, or throw to somebody open. Like and one of those is gonna be available. One of those options will be available and should work every time. And yeah, you put it in your quarterback's hands in that situation, especially when your quarterback that can run. All right, so here's an interesting stat. Arkansas, Oklahoma. Okay, since 2020, there have been 338 games where a team put up 550 plus yards and outgained its opponent by over 200 yards. Those teams are 337-1. The average score is 53-15. So,
Yeah.
a little insight into how mind-boggling that was. Is that right? Total yards: Arkansas 648, Oklahoma State 385.
Yeah. And they're Heisman hopeful. I mean, he's not going to be a Heisman hopeful after that game. I mean, he was a non-factor until
Complete
we had the
non-factor.
stupid suplex, in the second overtime. Gave him the ball at like the 13-yard line or whatnot. And they hit him for a pass and he scores. Yeah, his Heisman campaign's over, but he was a non-factor. Their quarterback, he looked really good whenever the defense got gassed because our offense couldn't stay on the field.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't
I
too
mean,
impressed with him.
they're a decent team. I mean, what they return like 17 starters or something like that. We knew they were going to make mistakes. Especially, I mean, you just can't turn the ball over 3 dang times and expect to win.
No, Oklahoma State's not as good as its ranking, but you're
They're
still not
not.
going to beat a top 25 team making that many mistakes.
They're not a bad team. I mean,
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying they're not the 16th best team in the country.
no, no, they're not.
But they're still good enough that they're going to beat you if you play like that against
Yeah. If
as
you
far as
if you
mistakes and penalties.
yeah,
Turnover.
if you gift wrap the game while you're shitting your pants and just give it to them, they'll take it and run with it.
Yeah. They're good enough for that. They're going to beat you that way. Okay, so let's move on. We've talked enough about that game, so let's move on to Arkansas UAB. It's the first home game for the Razorbacks on Saturday. Saturday in Fayetteville. Uh, Alabama Birmingham. Trent Dilfer, the head coach. Let's just I mean, Arkansas should take care of business. We got a lot to talk about, so let's do a score prediction and move on. I assume we both have Arkansas.
Yeah.
All right, what's your score prediction?
I don't know, 45-10. I feel bad for UAB. I think we're going to take out some aggression, but I think Arkansas is going to cover the 28.5 point spread at least.
I'm gonna go. I have no faith in our kicking game. I'm gonna go 49. I'm gonna go 49-24 Hogs. I don't know if that covers the spread. My math isn't
Doesn't.
okay. I was gonna say my math's not that great in the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna say that will be the score. So we both have the Hogs Saturday, and we'll see how we did this time next week. But as far as other games that went on Saturday, I didn't watch a whole lot of college football Saturday when I got done with the Razorback game. There weren't many other good games going on. So I was like, hey, my yard needs to get mowed and I need to work out some of this. I don't let the Razorbacks ruin my day, but I was still frustrated. And I was like, I need to go like work this energy out of me. So mowed my yard and really didn't do much else football wise on Saturday. Just kind of geared up for NFL Sunday. Did see that Notre Dame paid Northern Illinois $1.4 million to come and beat them at their place.
Made my
So
Saturday quite a bit better whenever I seen that.
a lot of people got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
That's
And somehow Notre Dame is still ranked.
yeah. I mean, you're not surprised though. Come on.
No.
So, but yeah, Notre Dame falls to Northern Illinois at home. So that is the as bad as it was for Arkansas to lose the way that they did. You lost to a top 25 team. Notre Dame, who was what fifth in the country, at least ranking wise, going
Yeah.
into it, loses to Northern Illinois at home and paid them $1.4 million to come and do that to them. So, as bad as it was for Arkansas fans, you didn't have it as bad as Irish fans did Saturday. All right. Anything else before we move on to NFL football?
I was glad to see Texas beat down Michigan like I thought they would. I was surprised to see that Auburn lost to Cal. That was kind of a surprise to me. And another shocker over the weekend was South Carolina stepping up and taking care of business against Kentucky.
South Carolina is a weird team under Shane Beamer. Like they'll start off. What is it? Was it a year or two ago? They started off poorly, like really bad.
Yeah.
I remember Arkansas beat them in the opener. Started off really bad, and then was maybe like the hottest team in the SEC by the end of the year. It was weird, and they barely beat Old Dominion in week one, and then yeah, you get it done against Kentucky, who's usually a pretty solid team with Mark Stoops has been there. So yeah, you never really know what you're going to get with South Carolina under Shane Beamer. So uh, they could turn around and just crap the bed next week, or continue this what would be, I guess, an upward trend. You never really know. But that,
I'm voting on the bed, but
I mean, yeah, could be that. We'll see. All right, let's move on to the NFL. Finally, NFL football was here. I was more excited about that than college football.
yeah.
I love them both equally, but I mean, the NFL is it's the best of the absolute best going at it. And so So that's always going to intrigue me. Plus, fantasy football is involved, so there's that factor. And Thursday night was the opener, and it was the Super Bowl champion Chiefs and the Ravens, and it did not disappoint. Lived up to the hype. Chiefs looked like the Chiefs. The Ravens didn't really play all that sharp, but still, they were still in it and almost won it. The Watching it live, I thought Isaiah likely scored.
I did too.
Now I did think like, okay, it was close. I did think
Yeah.
that, but I did think he scored. And then you see the replay, and it was a toes length out of bounds that decided the
Like a
game.
toenail out of bounds.
Yeah, and Harbaugh was going to go for two. He was going to go for two in the win. I like that. Great game to start, and Lamar's lost weight. He looks even faster than he was, which is scary to think about if you're an opposing
Yeah.
defense. I'm still just so impressed by Lamar Jackson. Like Ravens fans and some critics of Lamar, I mean, they were ripping him at times in the game for like missing certain throws. Dude, Lamar's Lamar, man. He's I don't know. I'm always impressed by him. I continue to be impressed by Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I think what impresses me most is even when he was initiating the contact in that game Thursday, like lowering his shoulder and stuff. I mean, yeah, you can't do that for 18 games, but he knows the game. He knows this game is huge, and he's not going to do that every time. And even then, I don't know, he finds ways to avoid taking the big hits. You know what I mean? It's like he initiated the contact when the guy was almost not letting up. I mean, he was still going after him, but I don't know. It wasn't like he was going head to head with a guy running full speed at him. I don't know. It just and whenever he scrambles and runs for first downs, etc., he always finds a way to fall the right way, get down in a way to avoid getting hit. It's an art form that I've never seen any scrambling quarterback do, except for him. I just continue to be impressed by Lamar. And Patrick Mahomes never ceases to amaze me. It looks like Rashee Rice has stepped into that role of number one. And I saw that in the preseason, which is why I made it a point to draft him on my fantasy team. So I'm going to be a big Chiefs fan this year. Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, and Harrison Butker is my kicker. So I'm going to be pro Chiefs all year. But I mean, I'm a fan of theirs anyway. But now this year I really am. Okay.
Did you win this week?
I did. I would have been the highest scoring team, but I had McCaffrey, and he didn't play. So
Yeah.
I was already up by 20 something points, so I wasn't upset by that. But yeah, I had him in the game starting, and then I turned the TV on. I'm like, oh, he's not playing. I was like, okay, good thing I'm up by 24 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some fantasy football here in a little bit, some waiver wire pickups. But other news that went on in the NFL, rookie quarterbacks played like rookie quarterbacks this week. They all struggled. Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels maybe had the best numbers. I don't know. None of them were particularly good. Caleb Williams, less than 100 yards passing, maybe 50% completion percentage. The offense didn't score at all, except 2
Yeah.
points, I think. Which how does that
I
happen?
don't even think. Yeah, I don't even think they scored at all, man. He better be thanking his lucky stars. He's got that defense, because without that defense, he definitely doesn't win.
Yeah, well, he'll get better. They'll all get better. Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, they'll all get better. It's rookie quarterbacks. There's a learning curve, and some like Dak Prescott having that great rookie year. It's those are anomalies. Like those are just right situation. It's not going to be like that for everyone. Rookie quarterbacks are typically going to struggle. They'll all get better.
I think they all looked better than Deshaun Watson, though.
Yes. The Cowboys defense had a lot to do with that, but Deshaun just doesn't look like the player he was in Houston. We saw we saw what a situation. I don't know what to call it. What do you call it? Tigers, divorce, and everything that went on with that, leading up to it, etc. We saw what that did to him, to his game. He's never been the same guy since. Deshaun Watson is clearly not the same guy, and has his confidence is gone. That swagger he had about him is gone. It's just is not the same guy anymore, and I don't think we're ever going to get that guy back. I think
And
it's too
as of
late.
yesterday, he's got a new lawsuit to deal with. So, as he should.
Yeah, I mean, I guess good thing he got all of his money guaranteed, because you're not going to cut him. You're not going to cut him because you're paying him all that. And this is the most Browns thing to happen. Baker Mayfield has become a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. I mean, Baker balled out on Sunday.
Balled out, man.
Dude, I'm
He
so
was
happy.
slinging it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm becoming a fan of his, but I mean, I wasn't I never disliked him. I was always indifferent about him, so I never had an opinion one way or another. He seems to be the kind of guy that you either you like or you don't like. I've never really had an opinion on it. I'm like, that's just it. I mean, that's him. That's how he
Yeah.
fires himself up and his teammates, etc. Um, So I never really had an opinion on it, but I could see why it would make things easy for people that don't like you to take shots at you, especially when you're down. So to see him have success like this, the success that he's having last year and it carrying over into this year is pretty fun to watch. Also fun that I have Mike Evans on my fantasy team. So if Baker's balling out, that probably means Mike Evans is going to ball out too.
Yep.
So excited about that. Happy for him. Uh, there was a situation Sunday. Tyreek Hill got pulled over and cuffed and put on the ground before he went and balled out. I don't even remember who they played, but the Dolphins got the win, and Tyreek Hill had a heck of a day. But I did not. Um, I didn't see the actual footage. I saw that the police, the Miami-Dade police had put out that they stand by their officers. Tyreek Hill, of course, had his side of the story. So I'm glad these body cam footage things are a thing now, so we can see what actually happened and come up with or just see what happened, I guess, and have our own opinion of it. And that's apparently what it's become in a lot of ways. Opinion. I saw somebody post when I first saw the video. It was a guy, some sports anchor who's I think he just tries to suck up to Ryan Clark now, but I said he said something like it's as disgusting as you would imagine it being, and I watched it and I'm like, what video are you watching?
Yeah.
Uh, you can't watch that video of Tyreek Hill getting arrested. You can't watch it objectively and say that Tyreek Hill just was completely innocent of everything, of all charges and everything that
Yeah.
happened in the video.
I mean, and he apparently got pulled over for doing 110.
Yeah, cop asked you to first you're mouthing at the cop, don't tap on my window or whatever he said repeatedly. He rolled the window back up. He wouldn't roll it back down. By then, the cops are fed up with you and pull you out of the car. Now, he didn't put up a fight or anything like that. I mean, it could have been way worse, but he didn't comply. The only thing I saw that looked to be excessive or out of line was the cop forcing him down onto the sidewalk. That to me was unnecessary. But at the same time, I mean, one, Tyreek Hill could have avoided the situation entirely by just complying, and two, at that point, the cop's fed up with you. He's
Yeah.
fed up with the way you're acting. So yeah, he's going to get more physical. That's just human nature in a lot of ways. But and Calais Campbell, I saw his interview. I believe it was on First Take. I don't watch the show, but I saw like his interview about it, because at this point I don't know what happened. Yeah, for all I know, it's a Scotty Scheffler situation.
Yeah.
And the way he described it, he talked about himself like getting out, and he's like, I went over there. I was like, hey, I'm just trying to de-escalate it. And I watched the video. I'm like, dude, he didn't act that way. I mean, he didn't escalate it, but he wasn't all peaceful walking over there trying to figure out what happened either.
He wasn't, but whenever they told him to walk away, he started to walk away, and they went after him and still put cuffs on him. So he's got a legitimate, argument. But yeah, the cops mishandled it, but it could have been completely avoided.
Yeah, had he just kept his window down and did what they asked him to do, it could have.
Yeah.
It didn't have to go to that. And I mainly just say that about Calais Campbell because he parked in the middle of like the road, like or in front of the cops, like in the road, not in the middle of the highway. But he was right in the middle of the road. It's like, dude, you're not going to make the situation any better.
No.
Is mainly what I'm getting at. If you're in that situation, just stay out of it. I'd say if you want to pull over in a spot where you can park and like film the thing, that's fine. But I mean, everybody wears body cams now, so it's not necessary. I mean, they're all supposed to be wearing them and have them on at all times. So, just a unfortunate situation that, of course, is turned into what it's turned into. It seems like we deal with this kind of crap every week now.
Yeah.
But that's all I got to say about that. It looks like we're going to have a part 2 to this episode. So we've been on a roll with that. So had means we've had lots of content for everyone. So it's fun to talk about, etc. So we'll kind of guess in this portion of the show with the Sunday night football and probably pick back up on it at the start of part 2. The Sunday night football game didn't disappoint either. Rams and Lions. It was kind of exactly. I mean, the postseason game between the Rams and Lions in Detroit didn't disappoint. It was basically part 2 of that on the Sunday
Minus
night
St.
football game.
Brown.
Did you say minus St. Brown?
Yeah.
Yes, but Jamison Williams had a coming out party. Another guy I
Yes, he
have on
did.
my another guy I have on my fantasy team I'm excited about now. So yeah, it was the Rams looked really good. And then the Lions, I mean, it was kind of back and forth. It was looked like the Lions early, Rams make a comeback, and then Lions just shove it down their throat at the end of the game.
I had to see Puka Nakua go out though.
Yes, I did hate to see that. It's just a sprain, though, apparently, a PCL strain or sprain. So he will be back, but he's going to miss
Couple of
like at least
weeks.
the next. Well, I think it's going to be like 4 games probably.
4 weeks, yeah.
But it's going to be lots of Cooper Cup in the meantime, which I'm not upset about because he's also on my fantasy team. But we'll talk
He's
about
on one.
that.
Yeah, he's on one of mine too.
All right, we'll talk about that. We'll continue into part 2. So we'll go ahead and do that now. See y'all in a second.